Hello my friends, hello, it's Matthew Street and welcome to my channel. So happy you're all here. And folks, I feel compelled to do another video. I'm sorry, I have to. But I was watching one of my favorite channels this morning, Paul, FitToBe TieDyed. You all know Paul. He's been in the vinyl community, Beatles community for a long time. I think he joined a little before I did. So he's been in here a good 4 years and I'm coming up on 4 years. Well anyway folks, Paul just did a follow-up video to someone who I believe is fairly new in the vinyl community, Jim Royal. Please go check out the Jim Royal channel. I went over there and checked out his video that Paul referred to, and I just subscribed to Jim Royal. So Jim, if you watch this, hello, nice to meet you, and I hope you'll check out my channel. And Jim did a video about the Beatles Hey Jude album, or as it was originally known as, the Beatles Again album, which was released in 1970, the early part of the year, February 26, 1970 to be exact. And Paul saw that video, which sparked Paul to do a Beatles Again, Beatles Hey Jude video of his own showing his Canadian pressings. And they were both very interesting videos. And it kind of brought a memory back for me that one of my first videos I ever did almost 4 years ago was a tribute, a small mini tribute to the Beatles Again, or the Hey Jude album. And so, you know what, I thought it needed some refreshing, some updating, and after seeing Jim Royal's video and then watching Paul's video about the topic, I said I'm going to do a quick video because I've gained a lot of new subscribers in the last 3.5 years or so, and so I thought I would do my little take and my little personal story on the Beatles Again, or the Hey Jude album. Now, as you know, it came out, as I said, February 26, 1970, and in my mind, I've always thought of it as kind of the final hodgepodge Beatles album. If you want to go back to all the chopping, cutting, and splicing that Capitol did to the Beatles' regular albums, the way the Beatles wanted them over the years, and how they put out multiple different versions of Beatle albums, I would say this was probably the last of the hodgepodge albums. Made it to number 2 on the charts. I believe it's well over 3 times platinum. And basically it was made up by all non-album B-sides and singles that you could not get on any other, well, where I'm from, the US, couldn't get them on any other US album. And I'm going to show you some copies that I have. I don't have anything like what Paul FitToBe TieDyed has. He's the master when it comes to collecting all different variations and pressings, and he even has a couple from different countries and whatnot. I don't have that. I just want to give my personal take on this album and what it means to me. Now, I'll show you the first one I have here, and this one has a little story to it. Let me give you some background first. You've all heard my stories about my parents, you know, as a little kid buying me Meet the Beatles and A Hard Day's Night in 1964 and bouncing on my toy bouncy horse to those albums. You've seen the videos with my dad where he tells the story. Go back and check out his videos with me. And so I've been a Beatles fan from day one, from '64 when my parents bought me those albums. But the first album that I ever obtained on my own, with my own little piggy bank money, was the Beatles Again, or the Hey Jude album. I was 8 years old in early 1970, and my mom, bless her heart, both my parents were always very supportive of my love of the Beatles and music. She took me to a little department store near where I live called Zayres, Z-A-Y-R-E-S. I don't know if they were anywhere else outside of New England, but she took me to Zayres department store. They had a little record department, and I had some money saved up from, I don't know if it was, I think the Christmas was just like 2 months earlier, so I had a little bit of money left from that or whatever that relatives had given me, and I wanted to get a Beatles album. Now, I didn't have this album in mind. I wanted the early Beatles album, of all albums. You might be saying, why that one, Matt? Well, when I was a little kid, I had this love of the song, the Beatles version of Twist and Shout. I wanted Twist and Shout. I had to have that song. And so I begged my mom to take me to the store so I could get the album that had Twist and Shout on it, which was the early Beatles. Well, lo and behold, when we got to the store, they did not have the early Beatles album. For whatever reason, it wasn't in the racks. So I didn't know what to do. Now I'm flummoxed. I'm going there thinking I'm getting the early Beatles, Twist and Shout. That's what I want. I want that song. Didn't have it. So I'm looking around, there's other people searching around in the racks. My mother's trying to help me a little bit. Well, what about this one? And what about this one? I don't even remember what album she was holding up. And there was this guy there flipping through the things, and I think he said something like, well, why don't you get their new one? Why don't you get the new Beatles album? And so, me being an easily influenced little kid, I was like, which one? And he took me over to where there was a rack of these albums, being the new Beatles album, the new release, and kind of pointed it out to my mom and I. And so picked it up and looked at it a little bit, and I always was intrigued by the cover. I've always loved the cover, with those great photos from the last photo session with the Beatles from August 1969 at John's estate in Tittenhurst. And it just intrigued me, just the statues out front with one wearing the hat, and just as a little kid and just looking at them, and they look so kind of like cool and I guess badass, if you want to say, on this album cover. So, I thought that was kind of cool looking. And so I said, okay, I'll go with that one. That'll be the one I'll get. And folks, I'm holding that exact album right here. I just want you to know that. Any of you that have watched my channel for a long time, you know of the Scotch tape stories. So I'm not going to go through the whole Scotch tape story again. Ask someone else in the vinyl community who knows Matt Street and knows my Scotch tape endeavors in the past. But yes, this one still has the Matt Street Scotch tape on it. I have to show that and point it out. This is my original. Little beat up, little chunk taken out over here. But you know why I keep this, folks? Because of the sentimental value. It has so much meaning to me that this was the album. My mom passed away 2 years ago this month, October of 2018. She had been suffering for 5 years previous, having a debilitating stroke. And as I said, she went, that was in the end of 2013. So she lived 5 years in that condition. And when she passed away 2 years ago, it was, very sad for all of us in the family, and we were very down about it. But I do have a lot of great memories of my mom and certainly my dad as well. You've met my dad. But my mom with music, she was always into the music like my dad and promoting it with us. And so this album, I don't care how beat up it gets. I don't care if there's a little chunk of cardboard torn out in the back, or there's ring wear, or there's Scotch tape all over it. This album is going to remain in my collection till the day I'm gone, folks. And then hopefully my children or whoever will do with whatever they want with it. But my mom took me to the store to buy this. This is the album, and I'm going to hang on to it forever. And it's on the original Apple label, and it does say, well, let me take it out for you, make it easier, right? The Beatles Again. That's the album that my mom took me to the store to get. So I'm going to hang on to it. It's not in the best of shape. It's playable, but it's just the sentimental value, folks. That album's going to stay with me forever. A lot of meaning there, and I don't want to get too emotional about it, because you know how you can if you speak about people in your life who have had a great influence on you personally or musically or whatever. It can really get to you. It could get to you, and so I want to remember my mom in that way of getting me the, promoting the music. Okay, but let's move on a little bit. So I love this album. I love the song selection. Here's another one I have. This one's a little better condition. No Scotch tape, folks. Okay, I can prove it. I did not tape this one. All right, this is an Apple pressing also, the same era. I believe it's an original pressing as well. Beatles Again on the record label. And I just love the song selection of this album. I'm one of those that I don't quibble about it and say, well, why didn't they put this song on it, or why didn't they put this song on it and take off Can't Buy Me Love, whatever. Folks, it is what it is to me, because I was 8 years old when I first started getting into this. It's ingrained in my brain the way it is, and I love it the way it is, and I don't want to change it. I wouldn't want to change it. Now, if they had changed it at the time and it came out originally with The Inner Light or Down on it, or Day Tripper on it, or something like that, fine, great, but it didn't, and so it doesn't exist to me. This is what exists. This is what is important to me, and this is what means the most to me, and this is why the reason why I love this album so much, because I think it's a great selection of songs. I love the way the early material flows right into the later material, the newer material. You have Can't Buy Me Love and I Should Have Known Better, flowing right into Paperback Writer and Rain, which flows into Lady Madonna, you know, and that flow keeps going right to the end of the album when you get to great songs like Don't Let Me Down and what's one of the other late ones, Ballad of John and Yoko, you know, just later songs from that final period of the Beatles. And I just think it flows very well, and I love it, and I'm never going to complain about it. And so I'll show you that one. Again, very similar to my original that my mom got with me at the store, but there's that one. And I do have a third copy, which is in very beautiful condition. It's, you can see it's on Capitol though, EMI Capitol. Very nice condition, this one, and I got this because I just always wanted a retro rainbow. And so I was able to get a retro rainbow Beatles Hey Jude. Now it's on this label, it's Hey Jude, not Beatles Again. But I just wanted it on the retro rainbow, so I picked that one up as well. Now, I also have a cassette of it, still sealed. Give you a little gander at that. I don't know how it's coming across with the glare, but Beatles Hey Jude. And I'm going to keep this one sealed. I did have, believe it or not, Christmas of 1970, so several months after the album came out, my mom and dad in my Christmas stocking, I thought it was Santa at the time. It wasn't Santa, but anyway. Santa exists though, he's out there. Anyway, my parents gave me an original cassette of the Beatles Again, or the Beatles Hey Jude. And I had that for years, folks. I honestly don't know what happened to it. I wish it would be a nice companion piece to go along with my original vinyl that my mom bought with me, and to have that cassette that was given to me by my parents for Christmas that year, I would love to still have, no matter what condition it is, even if the tape was all messed up, but I don't know what happened to it, so that's gone. So I keep that cassette pristine, and I'm gonna leave it in the shrink wrap as a memory. As you know, this wonderful set came out, the Beatles US albums, and as part of this set, I have one out right here, a separate one I bought, which I got pretty inexpensive for. It was less than this, folks. It says $12.88, but I think I got it for half price or something. But yeah, you can get it on CD finally, folks. At let's see, you got a little like kind of an Obi strip on it there, but there it is, the Beatles Hey Jude on CD. Finally, after so many years, we can get it on CD, and that's really cool to have it this way, so I don't have to take out my vinyl all the time and play it. I can bring this in the car with me and listen to it whenever I want. And it just means so much to me to have it on CD now. But this CD isn't my favorite CD, folks, because not to get too melancholy here, or I don't want to bring this video down at all, but I lost my good friend. I've talked about him in several of my videos. My friend Larry passed away August of 2016. Just before, a few months before I joined the Beatles and vinyl community. He was like my music buddy, my Beatles buddy. We, played instruments together and had listened to the Beatles, went to see Paul and Ringo together. Just a great friend, lifelong friend, and I miss him every day. And anyway, folks, after the 2009 Beatles remasters came out, Larry was so into the Beatles Hey Jude album, and you couldn't get it on CD back then. Until this US albums box set came out, you could not get it on CD, as you all know. And he was so infatuated with the idea of having the Hey Jude album on CD that he made himself and I a personal Hey Jude CD, taking the cuts from the 2009 remasters. And this is a CD that means so much to me, folks, because Larry personally made this for me. As you see, he took, it looks like he took the Abbey Road CD from the 2009 remasters, and I remember it had this image in there. Do you remember that? And then here's the image he put on the back. And you can see right here where the CD slot is. You remember when you opened up the Abbey Road, I believe? I don't have it in front of me, but anyway. So he put that picture on the back of my personal little Hey Jude CD, homemade one. And he put that on the front, which, remember, as you know, Funny Larry did that because this image was supposed to be the original front cover of the Hey Jude Beatles Again album. And it got switched around. I don't know if it was accidentally or what. So Larry put that on the front. I give him credit. And as you open it up, it's just very plain homemade CD, but it's in Larry's writing. He hand wrote that out for me. And so, you know, this CD, although this is the official one on CD, this one means a lot to me. And of course, this album with my little Scotch tape all over it means a lot to me. Being my mom's no longer with us and Larry's no longer with us, these will always be treasured Beatles Again, Beatles Hey Jude items that I will cherish forever. So I just hope you enjoyed this video, folks, and I just wanted to do a little response to Paul FitToBe TieDyed, who did a response to Jim Royal, and basically just talk about my emotional connection with this album, pay tribute to it. It does mean a lot to me. It's an album that, although it's not in the official catalog as far as what the Beatles wanted, it will always have a place in my heart. It'll always be an album that I'll go to, I'll listen to on frequent occasions, and takes me back in time, takes me back to a time in my life when life was a little more innocent and simpler, and I was that little kid putting on that album for the first time and falling in love with it, and it just means so much to me. So thank you, Paul, for the inspiration for this video, and through you, thank you to Jim Royal for inspiring you. And I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you all again soon. Thanks for being here. Bless you all. Love you all, and I appreciate your support. Take care. Bye-bye.